Yes, appreciate everyone joining this Discord AMA. We are collectively the team working on the Paymaster here at Coinbase, and I think we can just start with a quick round of introductions, and we'll jump right into it. So I'm Nick Prince. I'm the product manager. Been at Coinbase since 2019. Past year and some change, been hyper focused on Base, and then more recently helping apps go gasless through the Coinbase Paymaster. Kevin.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin. Also here on the Base team. We built this awesome product called the Paymaster for y'all. I'm really excited to talk about its features. Let's go with Chris.
There we go. Hey, I'm Chris, engineering at Coinbase, working on the Paymaster. So, excited to chat today. Over to you, Pat.
Thanks, Chris. Hey, everyone. My name is Pat, senior developer advocate here at Coinbase, helping developers build on-chain. So happy to be here.
All right, so Paymaster is all about going gasless. You can see Cattown's one of the apps that's integrated on the right. That's what the transaction pop-up looks like when an app has gone gasless from the perspective of the user. So what's the problem? Gas is a friction and cost for users, and it's unique to crypto, and it's hindering on-chain adoption. Just think back to the last time you used a Web 2 app. Imagine then if you had needed to fund a wallet and bridge to a certain network and then pay some money out of your own funds all before using the app. And that's basically the paradigm that on-chain apps have been trying to get adoption from within. So what is the solution? It's to make it simple for every app and every app developer to abstract away gas from their users, in turn lowering barrier to entry and increasing retention for on-chain users. So in order to do that, we've created this Paymaster product, and the Paymaster works seamlessly with any type of smart wallet. And that's also a key detail, that it needs to be a smart wallet that the user is interacting on-chain with. But integration is simple. We allow for a ton of different custom gas policy configs right from our dashboard. And we offer security features like allow listing contracts, which ensures that no one goes and sponsors a bunch of activity through some other contract that has nothing to do with your app. We've heard from customers that they appreciate those security features. Otherwise, they'd have to do complicated things like set up Paymaster proxies to implement the same amount of security. And we've also heard that the advanced gas policy configurations are really helpful. And we have a list of them today, but we're always taking in new ideas for configs. So I'd love to hear from you if there's anything that you'd like to see. Reminder that this is what it's all about. This is right now the end user experience if you have gone gasless. And we're doing a couple of things right now in terms of promotion. So the base gasless campaign gets you up to $15,000 in Paymaster gas credits if you are using the Coinbase Smart Wallet, like if you support that in your app. And so this will help you get started experimenting with the value of going gasless, but without you needing to pay for it out of pocket. We also have onboarded a bunch of gas credit affiliates across the kind of accelerator crypto VC landscape and also across different wallet providers. And you can get additional gas credits, like $5,000 of additional gas credits, if you are using our Paymaster and also involved with one of these affiliates. It's also worth noting that something like a privy, if you're already using that, that can be integrated, or you can use Coinbase Smart Wallet with the Privy SDK. And that has been an easy way for people to get started as well. And again, you get gas credits for doing so. So I'm going to hand it off to Chris, who's going to take you through a demo of what it actually looks like to integrate the Paymaster into your app.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and take us through basically deploying a very simple app using on-chain kit and the Paymaster to get sponsored transactions. I'm just trying to find my correct window here. Yep, sounds good. So yeah, I'm on the documentation page for Paymaster, and on these docs are just coming out right now, so this is in preview mode. But if you go to the quick start, basically we'll step you through creating an simple application using onchain kit, and then basically adding a configuration to sponsor transactions using the Paymaster. So if you can't see, I'm on the documentation. Basically, it says to move over to your developer platform CDP portal. I'm just going to create a new project, and then I will go down to onchain tools Paymaster and jump over to the configuration screen. And then in the quick start, it says that we are allow listing the following address to be used with the Paymaster. So I'm just copying that, pasting that in to our contract allow list function. And testnet ETH testnet gas fees have been pretty high lately, so I'm just going to increase the global limit of gas. So that basically our Paymaster is kind of ready for sponsorship. Anything that will go to that, any user ops coming in that go to that address will be sponsored, because we have no other configuration set other than the max limit. And Kevin will go through other configurations afterwards. So now I'm just copying, basically it's a link to a repo. So we're just cloning the repo. And this repo is the onchain kit template repo. And I've just cloned it, and then I'm just opening up my Visual Studio Code, which brings the project here. So the next step in the documentation here is to just add a few environment variables. So I'm just copying those. I am in the repo again, and I am just making an M file here. It's already filled in a couple kind of test ones. We will actually only need, the new, we only need the environment variable for the Paymaster and Bundler endpoint. That's onchain kit does offer a bunch of other features, but right now we're just going to use the Paymaster Bundler endpoint. So I'm just jumping back to the CDP portal. I'm copying my endpoint, jumping back to the repo, and I'm just pasting it for my environment variable. And then jumping back to the documentation page, we just have to do basically bun install, which will install our dependencies. As that's installing, the next step is the base repo doesn't have a Paymaster added to the transaction component. And the transaction component you'll see in a second, but it basically allows you to put any transaction into a simple button, and it'll integrate with Smart Wallet or any other regular EOA wallets, Coinbase wallet, etc. So it says to go into source components transaction wrapper and replace the transaction with the code that is provided. So I'm just pasting that in, and if you can see my screen, you can see that the only thing that's changed is we've added capabilities section, and capabilities adds a Paymaster service, which links to our URL, which is our Paymaster and Bundler endpoint. And just double checking that it's in our environment variable, it is. So now we've done all the changes needed to stand up this repo. And I'm just going to basically run it in dev, run it locally, sorry. And okay, so now the page is loading. I don't know, the next steps are pretty simple. I don't know how much everyone could see there. Hopefully some of it got through. Okay, so yeah, this is running locally. This is the onchain kit template. This is a transaction button, this collect at the bottom. We've added our Paymaster on it. So when we do click select, I think it was collect for NFT, we can see it's sponsored by onchain kit. It is running locally, so there's a bit of distortion on the pop over, but yeah, that's sponsored. And that would be the end of the demo, I suppose. Yeah, it's that easy if you use onchain kit. Really is just, drop in your Paymaster URL, add your configurations, and it should be good to go.
Kevin, you want to take it away? Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, that was awesome. Cool. So yeah, earlier Chris chatted about like some of the configurations that we could that y'all would be able to make. I'll go through some of them. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Basically from the top, we have that the endpoint for y'all. The endpoint is your gateway to all this. You can select mainnet, testnet in the top right as well. On if you want to just build immediately on mainnet, or if you would like to first build your product on testnet. But if scrolling down just a little bit below, basically we're trying to build a Paymaster product for y'all in a way where you could sponsor your sponsor transactions for all your users with the minimal friction possible, while also making sure that your product doesn't get abused by whomever users y'all have that might farm your app, either intentionally or unintentionally. So we have a couple of options. We have that contract allow list that makes sure that the gas that you'll be sponsoring for your users goes specifically to the dApp that you built or the smart contracts that you want sponsored transactions for. We highly recommend you adding a contract in here. But if you're looking to just build immediately out of the gate, maybe you just have some ideas tinkering, just go ahead, just use that Paymaster and bundler endpoint and just immediately start building. Scrolling a little bit lower, we provide a global limit and a user limit for y'all. When you first create a project, we originally set it at just $1 by default for y'all, but you can adjust it as you kind of scale your product up. Right now, it seems like Nick has a maximum sponsorship of 17,500, and we've sponsored a total of $700 US, so that's pretty awesome. We will have even more analytics for y'all to kind of consume, and we're actually really excited to share that. But we'll jump into that at a little bit later. Scrolling down just even lower, we have the per user limit. This is what will help your apps to kind of tailor your sponsorship to make sure that your apps don't get farmed or anything like that. You can tailor your sponsorship so that each user will only sponsor a total of $10 for that user if you wanted to. Maybe you only want to sponsor the first user op because you're just trying to get users onboarded. So you could set maximum number of user operations to 1. For the limit cycle, it also kind of talks about what date range you want to sponsor your users. Maybe you want to sponsor 10 transactions or 10 user ops per month. Maybe you only want to sponsor 5 user ops per day or something like that. Regardless, this is all very configurable. Scrolling even a little bit lower, we have the per user operation limit. This will help control your gas prices so you don't get hit by massive spikes in Ethereum gas costs. I'll let Nick talk a little bit more about that later, but I'm sure y'all have all seen people try to make an Ethereum transaction and end up costing them $15,000 in gas fees. This is to help.
Yeah, I'll just jump in right now. We got a question: how does Coinbase Paymaster handle edge cases such as fluctuating gas prices or network congestion? And the Paymaster will sponsor up to whatever limits you set, but a lot of the apps we talk to don't want to be sponsoring for their users during periods of elevated congestion where, say, a user app costs $10. So the way you would mitigate that is you would just set the maximum USD for per user op limit to $10 or $1 or just whatever you want. And then again, if the user op is in excess of that, Paymaster just won't sponsor, and the user will then decide whether or not they would like to pay gas for that user op. Okay, Kevin, jump back in.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And then a couple of other stuff that we have is we have this customization field, which I'm actually pretty excited about. But that just goes to show, and I really wish I could share my screen right now, but you could say what when you sponsor a transaction for your user and your user is about to sign that transaction, it will tell you who the gas is sponsored by. So by default, we just say Coinbase. But if you're like a dapper developer, or if you're Apple, for instance, and you want to tell your users that like, hey, it's actually me that's sponsoring it, we allow you to put that in there. Yes, it seems like Nick is putting in Nike. If you're Nike, you could go ahead and customize that. So that way, it's like a free advertisement for your app. Every single time your users use that app, they will say, "Oh, if I use your DApp right now, you're going to sponsor the transactions for me." It's literally free sponsorship every single time they sign. And then final bit of it, we also have some attestation integrations. So once again, it's to kind of like maybe prevent your app from getting farmed, or maybe you just like want to work with some Coinbase retail users. This allows you to only sponsor transactions for users that actually have a Coinbase account. And I'm sure, as many of y'all might know, when you first sign up for Coinbase, you have to like do things such as like KYC, enter in your like bank account information. So it really helps you tailor your sponsorship to what we call like higher quality users that have done that KYC. They have done, the bank account linking and all the things like that. So, and Coinbase One subscriber, that's another feature that we have. It's the folks that are actually paying for Coinbase, $10 a month, or I think it might be like $30 a month. So it really guarantees you that the users that you're sponsoring your transactions for are of the highest quality. Other than that, we could scroll back all the way to the top, and we actually have an analytics page. So I think I could let Nick take it away from there.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. So I can speak to this. The three stats right now we show in analytics are gas sponsored, user app sponsored, and unique wallet sponsored. And you can filter by day, week, and month. And you'll also see the percentage change at the top relative to the last period. And we're just getting started here, but the idea is to provide you with more and more insights about your users. And we eventually even want to like break this out so you can see your user cohorts in here. You can imagine like this amount of users got sponsorship that were returning day after day versus this amount of wallets were first time users of your app and got sponsorship. So we want to build this out more and more, and then offer like actionable insights that you can then go and optimize your configurations around. So again, if there's any other analytics you'd like to see, please do shout. Two other quick things to touch on. We offer a playground here. So you can run a request and get a response. I think that's one of the first things folks should check out as they're getting started. And you can do this for both a bundler and a Paymaster request. And then last of all, we have this logs tab. Right now, it's just a CSV download, but we are working on pulling this out into the front end for your convenience. So that is the front end Paymaster dashboard. I think we can kick it over to Q&A. Well, I can just start reading out some of the questions you all submitted in advance of this meeting. First one will be for you, Chris. So Paymasters are only capable. So the question is, Paymasters are only capable for paying for gas. Does that mean customers would have to build out a custom solution to pay for message.value sent along, such as sponsoring first swap transaction? Or is this similar to Magic Spend Flow, where customers first claim their swap amount in dollars and then swap?
Yep. Thanks. Yeah. So Paymaster is only basically Paymaster integrates with the. I don't want to get like too deep into the ERC 4337 stuff, but basically there's an entry point contract that manages Paymasters and smart accounts, and how Paymasters refund smart account transactions to the bundler. And basically that means that the Paymaster can only pay for gas. It is only the entry point holds the Paymaster's balance, so it can't perform any other actions than pay gas to bundlers. In terms of like, could you build something out custom? Absolutely. And the one benefit to smart wallets is that they can perform multiple actions in a user op rather than like a traditional EOA transaction. You'd have to approve an ERC20 and then do some other action afterwards. They can, batch the approval and take another action in the same transaction. So in this case, grab some liquidity that you're providing somehow, perhaps with a signature. I'm not sure of the implementation you want to do, but grab the liquidity, do whatever steps afterwards, and that can be in a single transaction that the Paymaster sponsors.
Okay, so this one is going to be for Patrick. Is there a best place for developers to find any docs for getting Paymaster, working with development tools such as WagMe or Privy, which is now on support Coinbase Smart Wallet? So Patrick, I'll give that one to you.
Yeah, juicy question for sure. I would first start with the Coinbase Developer Platform docs, which has the quick start for Paymaster. So I'll just throw those in there. I'll throw like a series of links. The next place I would go would be base.org docs. So docs.base.org. We have many tutorials there, hundreds at this point, where we focus on different aspects of building on chain, specifically with Base, and we have a account abstraction with Privy, Base, and the Coinbase Paymaster as well. And just like reviewing the question one more time. And then obviously we have like YouTube videos as well on the Paymaster and use of that. So let me just share those links there. I just do in the chat. The first link is going to be the Paymaster documentation. The second one is a tutorial on how to use the Paymaster with Privy smart wallet. So yeah, those are a great spot, and there's some like YouTube videos as well for how to use the Paymaster as well.
Amazing. Yeah, thanks for dropping those links. Everyone in the audience, take a look at those, check them out, and yeah, navigate through them. This next one is for Kevin. Is there a reason Paymaster only works on mainnet and not testnet? And if so, can you add any reasoning to why?
So our Paymaster does work on mainnet and testnet. By default, when you enter the CDP portal, it will select mainnet. You do have that option. There's a drop down to select testnet. Couple of the things that you might have ran into is just like either the testnet button is just not quite visible. We're actively working on just like figuring out what the best design is. So if you have any feedback, product feedback, go ahead and just like drop it into our Discord channel. But also, as Chris mentioned earlier, it's possible that like you just got hit by the testnet cap. By default, we set your policy to only sponsor up to $1. But right now, with how expensive testnet transactions are, it's possible that you just hit that already. But we do support both mainnet and testnet.
Okay, good to know, because I know that was a question that was coming up in the Discord. So glad we could clarify that. And yeah, anyone that's in the audience who has any feedback on when they are on mainnet or testnet, please, this is the time to do so. Not the time to be shy. Now's the time to really pick the brain of the experts and why we got them. So take advantage. Now, the next question is for you, Nick. Right now, I know we offer the ability to download your sponsored user ops, Paymaster tab, logs, but is there a goal to expose an API in the future?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I had mentioned that we plan on pulling logs and successful versus failed user ops into the front end. We're also exploring making that available via API. So whoever did ask this, if that front end kind of solution doesn't satisfy your need, please do flag that, and that'll help with prioritization as we think about exposing through API versus front end. But very much acknowledge that the CSV download is an MVP and not the best format for consuming that info.
Appreciate the context there. Now, next question is for Patrick. Now, there's been a few different questions around supporting Vue. Can you provide some detail on what the wallet component product is and where you get both the wallet and Paymaster product? Can you add some color there?
Absolutely. It may make sense to share my screen, but if that ends up not working at all,
go for it.
let me see. Oh God, here we go. Let's see. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Nice. Okay. So the question. So the wallet component is part of a React library that we've built called onchain kit. And this allows you to go from zero to on-chain app really quickly by providing you with a couple primitives. And wallet is one of those primitives that allow that also has a few subcomponents in there as well. So the wallet component allows you to provide users a way to connect their smart wallet. And then there are some subcomponents such as identity, where you can have an avatar, a name, and an ENS. Many of you may know that base names is something that is going GA soon, and so this is where you can see, for example, like in Discord, my name is patrick.base.eth, right? And so if you want to provide a really cool way for your users to log into your application, display their name, maybe their ETH balance and their address, that's the wallet component, and the identity, like avatar name and address subcomponents that come together to create that. And to learn more about that, you can go to onchainkit.xyz, and to get started, you simply install onchain kit into your React your React project, and then just on the question of React versus Vue, I believe the product team is focusing more on React because there's a higher number of live projects that use React versus Vue. And so we kind of just want to meet developers where they are. I think down the line, this is something that maybe the team would explore. But at the moment, there is a focus on React. And then I think there's like a part on the Paymaster, and you can just get the Paymaster from cdp.coinbase.com. And all you need is a Coinbase account to get started. So it's as simple as that. And then if I still haven't answered your question, throw it in the chat, and then I'll answer it there as well.
You mentioned meeting developers where they are, kind of React versus Vue. Sounds like we're seeing more React. We want to make it as smooth and as efficient as possible. So appreciate you adding some context there as well. Now, Nick, this one's for you. When we receive feedback on adding the feature to pay with Coinbase Commerce that way, we received feedback on adding the feature to pay with Coinbase Commerce, so that way you could buy credits in any token you want in advance. Has this been added yet?
It's not been added, but we are actively working on this, and hopefully it will launch soon. And so just to reiterate, what this will allow you to do is you'll be able to buy Paymaster credits in a number of different cryptocurrencies, and that'll be powered by Coinbase Commerce. And then you'll be able to apply those credits to your Paymaster bill, effectively letting you use crypto to pay for the Paymaster instead of needing to use credit card or ACH, etc.
Perfect. So it can go right to credit card, right to credit card rather than the ACH. You said.
No, so you can go right to paying with crypto, using your wallet to pay using ETH or USDC or other tokens that Coinbase Commerce supports.
Amazing. Really expediting the process. I like it. Now kind of pivoting more so to best practices, optimization. Now, Nick, if you take this one as well, just a few of the best practices you've seen from optimizing transaction cost when using Coinbase Paymaster. Really kind of like, are there strategies to minimize gas fees or improve transaction speed?
Yeah, so most of gas cost optimization is going to happen at the contract level. And so that'll be specific to your own contracts. But I do want to highlight that the configs we offer allow you to optimize how much you want to spend on each user over what period of time or on each user op. And we had already discussed that as well. And so what we're seeing practically is a lot of apps are using that per user op spend limit and setting it to something like $1 to make sure that they're not sponsoring during periods of high congestion. We're also seeing a lot of apps choosing to only sponsor something like 5 user ops per user per day. And so that gives users, gasless benefit to keep them coming back to your app every day, but also make sure that, say, if you only had a budget of however many dollars to spend on gasless, it ensures that that benefit is spread out across all of your users instead of just your power users. Although also a reminder, like we're giving up to $20,000 in Paymaster gas credits. So that gives you the flexibility to be a little bit more lenient with your configs to start. But yeah, hope that answers the question. There's also things on the horizon like bundler compression, and these are things on our side that we're exploring to continue to bring the cost of user ops down. But with some of the recent like protocol upgrades on Base, there have been periods of time where user ops, so like transactions made out of smart wallets, have actually on average been cheaper than a standard transaction out of an EOA wallet. And the more user ops that we can bundle together, the less each user op will cost kind of for each end user. So we do expect to have those kind of cost pressures in our favor going forward. I'll stop there.
Great. Yeah, it sounds like a great plan going forward. So definitely excited for that. Now, and then to add on to that, I know just in regards to how does Coinbase Paymaster kind of handle edge cases such as the fluctuating gas prices or network congestion? Again, what if you can just elaborate a little bit more on what mechanisms are in place to ensure reliable and predictable performance? It'd be great to touch on.
Yeah, right. So this is the one I jumped in on Kevin when he was showing the configuration. You can set that per user op max spend limit to protect against periods of high congestion and sponsoring through them. It sounds like there's another part of this question, which is about like reliability and performance of the Paymaster. And so we have our own like internal standards that we hold ourselves to, and we monitor that. But to the extent that you are experiencing performance issues with the Paymaster product or the bundler, please do let us know ASAP in Discord, and we'll get right on that.
Right. Definitely, if you guys are experiencing that in the audience, definitely take them up on that. We want to make sure we're finding solutions and making it as smooth as possible experience for you guys. Now, Kevin, I'll jump over to you for this question. Can you share some real world use cases where Coinbase Paymaster has significantly improved, someone's user experience? Okay, and also what lessons can developers learn, from these examples?
Yeah, in terms of real world use cases, I think the big question that we should all ask is like, why does it require ETH to send USDC? So the biggest real world use case that I've seen is basically gasless USDC sends. It's going to be huge in terms of getting the average user onboarded. They don't care about what Ethereum is. They don't care about gas prices. They just want to send $50 to their friends. And you can do that all through this Paymaster product. And we do that ourselves. In fact, I could even give a really, really quick demo of it. I'm going to try to share my screen one last time, and we'll see if this works.
Let's give it a go.
Let's give it a go. Come on. All right, let's go live. Yes, no, disappeared.
Nothing on my end. Yeah.
One of the somebody should definitely do a demo of our smart wallet and the gasless USDC sends. But that's like the biggest one, the gasless USDC payments. Another really awesome use case that I see is if you're a video game developer. You just want your core users to focus on the gameplay, to trade whatever NFTs they want to do, to make whatever transactions, and you just want to sponsor the transactions for them and just let them focus on gameplay. They don't need to focus on buying ETH and paying for the gas prices to use your dApp. They just focus on having fun. Oh, it seems like Nick is able to share his screen. You want to see that? Show them the gasless USDC payments.
Yeah, do that right now.
And we do have someone in the chat that's asking to speak. I don't know if we're saying.
Yeah, why don't we just bring them up while I get this set up, and then anyone else that wants to come up and speak, we'll go ahead and prioritize you ahead of the other kind of questions we received async to make it more conversational.
Yeah, the one thing there, let's see, Masome looks like they're trying to speak, and if you wanted to post your question first in the chat, that'd be great, just to make sure. But until then, I think we should keep on moving forward. So the next question I'll ask is actually for Chris. So what should developers keep in mind when managing security and compliance while using Coinbase Paymaster? Are there any specific guidelines or kind of common pitfalls to avoid?
Yeah, so I mean, we've designed Paymaster in such a way that you have best practices kind of front and center as you come into CDP portal. So the main one to prevent your Paymaster sponsoring something you don't want to is the contract allow list. The other policy settings kind of restrict obviously how much you will spend. So it's really just kind of making sure your Paymaster is only sponsoring what you want it to sponsor through the contract allow list. There's certain use cases that you may not be aware of what contracts you will allow list. So for those use cases, we do recommend setting up a Paymaster proxy, and that's basically just like again for like React, setting up a React or Next.js API that protects the Paymaster bundler endpoint. So basically just proxies the Paymaster requests through your, I guess if you were hosting on Vercel or whatever, through there. So your key is not leaked to the front end. Yeah, I think that's like the main kind of thing to know for security wise. But if you have the contract allow list, you should be, you'll only be sponsoring transactions that interact with your contracts. But yeah, just I guess one more thing to add is while you're building, Next.js or React apps, you should be aware of what is leaked on the front end. And yeah, a lot of Next applications use kind of front end tokens or front end environment variables that will be exposed in the front end. So there's something to keep in mind to not go to prod without a contract allow list in place or a Paymaster proxy.
Okay, good to know. With the Paymaster proxy, yeah, it sounds like you really want to protect the Paymaster bundler endpoint. Don't want that, the key that make sure the key is not leaked on the front end, but also just being aware of what is leaked on the front end and having that information.
I have the USDC demo ready to go here real quick. So as a reminder, all USDC sends are gasless for Coinbase Smart Wallet users globally. And so this is what the UX looks like when you go to send $1 in USDC. You confirm. I'm presenting my whole screen, so it should show. Can you guys see this pop up?
Yeah.
Right now, yeah, it's showing network fee is struck out, sponsored by Base. Confirm, sign with passkey, and voila, we sent money digitally for free, totally permissionlessly, and you never even needed to know what ETH was or have it in your wallet.
Yep. And one other thing that I wanted to point out was that one section that says sponsored by Base, that once again is completely configurable by y'all. If you build on our platform, and anytime that your user signs their operation, they will see that you are paying for their sponsorships.
I like it. Thanks for circling back on that, Nick, and doing the demo. Now, the last question we have here is actually going to be for Kevin. So what kind of developer support and documentation is available for Coinbase Paymaster? I know we talked about that a little bit at the beginning of the Q&A, but is there anything specific, kind of resources or tools that can help accelerate the integration process?
Yeah, absolutely. Nick, would you mind helping me out and sharing your screen again? Just go to the Paymaster welcome page and the policy page. We make sure to give you as much documentation as possible. So when you first come onto the Coinbase Developer Platform, you go to onchain tools, boom, right there, we have a quick start guide. We have a demo, we have some more examples. You could jump into each one of those tutorials to really try to understand how to build on this platform. And also keep in mind that like this Paymaster works with all sorts of smart accounts, and all sorts of smart accounts or smart wallets work with all different sorts of Paymaster. So there are like, if you want to integrate, like a Privy Smart account with our Paymaster, you can also read the Privy docs. We're really trying to build something to help out the entire developer ecosystem here. And it's important for us to like make sure that like our documentation works with all the other providers' documentation, and their documentation works with our products. Yes, thank you, Nick, for linking that out. And that repo right there is a really good example on on something that one of our developers built to just create like a gasless mint for some NFT.
And yeah, sorry. One thing to add on that repo is that is not for smart wallet, Coinbase smart wallet integration. It is for headless or like Privy integrations.
Appreciate you guys breaking that down.
And Chris, we shortly are going to update the docs, and that'll have tutorials for both headless as well as with Coinbase Smart Wallet, right?
Correct. It could be live now or in the next 1 hour.
Cool.
I like it. That's the end of the Q&A. I want to also just open the floor, and you guys have stuck with us. A good amount of people in the audience and stayed, so definitely appreciate that. But wanted to just open up the opportunity for anyone that had a question, wants to ask the team directly, come up on the stage, or want to put it in the chat. Definitely use this time to, like I said, ask the experts that are building the product out. We want to make sure we're having a more of a conversational dialogue with the engineers and the product team. So definitely don't be shy. Now's the time. But while everyone kind of puts together their questions, Nick, did you want to share the CDP
Yeah, just one more thing.
Yeah.
So
great.
As part of betterment for our product, we want to hear from our users, and so our user research team has a database that they invite folks to do user research interviews out of. And if you are selected and you do the user research interview, you get paid $100 in USDC. So if that's of interest to anyone, there is a form that we would appreciate if you can fill out. If someone can drop it in the chat here, the link to the form, that would be great. It takes less than 2 minutes. And again, like you'll just get asked questions about your problems so we can better solve them. And then you get paid for sharing your thoughts. So I highly encourage people to take advantage of that. But yeah, we have 9 minutes left. We have a bunch of the team on here. I know some of you had, asked if you could chat with us about your app. Encourage everyone to use this time with us and kind of come up on stage and let's chat. While we wait, I just want to re-anchor everyone on what we're trying to do here. And that is, we believe that gas is one of the key remaining frictions to bringing 1 billion users on chain. And we're trying to make it as simple as possible for you to remove gas from the equation for your users so that you as a developer can just focus on building apps people want. You don't need to be building weird bespoke infrastructure to abstract this away. And then your users don't have to worry about this weird gas thing, which is a totally novel and annoying concept that they are not used to in Web 2.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Hey, yep, we hear you.
Awesome. Just wanted to say, guys, thanks so much for running. This has been super, super helpful. I ran across this just randomly. I represent a company called Kettle. We're an RWA marketplace full of luxury watches. And our use case, I spend half my days onboarding people in the Diamond District of New York City to use tokenized watches and, kind of just come into the whole crypto ecosystem. And it's a big deal for us, the Paymaster, what you guys are building. There's no concept of gas for these people. When we onboard the next billion users, it's not going to be, it needs to be with social sign-on and Paymasters, these types of functions. My question to you guys, though, is, we're looking at a multi-chain future with Base, becoming more and more important in that. How does the Paymaster work when we have NFTs on different chains? I saw some answers in the chat about as long as the source currency is in base, that it's fine. But I'd love to maybe hear you guys speak to the multi-chain and kind of how that fits in with the Paymaster.
Yeah, great questions and great to hear from you. So to start, the CDP Paymaster only supports Base, so it can only be used to sponsor transactions that are happening on Base. But there are other Paymaster products, like Pimlico has one, Baconry has one, Alchemy has one, and they support other networks as well. And you can mix and match Paymasters. So if you have a present need to be created gasless experiences across multiple networks, you can mix and match Paymasters. The CDP team does plan on eventually offering this Paymaster across many networks. It's just not the state of the product today.
Understood. Brilliant.
And I'm curious to like better understand. So for your use case, what is the advantage of being like cross-chain?
So what the idea is right now we're currently on Blast exclusively. Our idea and vision is we have this entire logistic pipeline of tokenizing physical goods. So same day users drop off, say a $50,000 watch, we put that on chain by the end of the day to be used across DeFi, to be sold, to be swapped, whatever you want to do on chain, right? For all the reasons we love crypto today. The idea is there's tons of ecosystems across crypto that could really benefit by having our tokens enter those ecosystems. Today it's watches, tomorrow it's gold bars, right? Or fine art or these types of things. So we're trying to tokenize the physical world, make people outside of our little crypto bubble care about the value prop of crypto. And so it's important to us to extend these tokens into other ecosystems. We see it as a crypto multiplier. How many protocols do we know that today are kind of interesting infra, but are just trading on assets that are trending towards zero? What if we flip the script on that? So that's kind of the intention with this. We're already talking with Layer 0 and Wormhole, et cetera, but we really want to use the Coinbase rails of on-ramping, and Paymaster is a big part of that.
Got it. That makes total sense. And love what you're building. Can you share a link in the chat just so we can all check it out after the call?
Oh, of course.
And one other option too, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was saying one other option would be like today, if you chose to, you could always onboard people onto Base and have the canonical version of the NFT or the first iteration of it, like live on Base and give them the gasless experience through Base. But then I can understand wanting to bring that tokenized asset to other chains to maximize like total available liquidity. And that would be the point at which you would then need to use another Paymaster if we don't yet support that other chain. But at least you could get them like on chain and into the tokenized asset, like on Base, totally gaslessly, just with a single Paymaster.
I think that's exactly what we're planning on doing, at least to start. And then, like you said, kind of branch out from there. So yeah, I can put the link in here. I'd love to chat with you guys offline as well, because we have a whole dev team ready to go. And this is a big migration. We're closing our seed round. So I think we'll be in touch.
Hell yeah. And we'd love to chat with you on the wallet side as well. And we can connect you with the Coinbase Smart Wallet team. Today, that's no seed phrase. You sign with passkey. They don't support like social login today, but it's high up on the roadmap. And like I mentioned at the start of this talk, you could always do something where you have a social login with Privy, and then Privy's SDK can also give your users the option to log in with Coinbase Smart Wallet. But yeah, happy to answer questions about wallet kind of stack async as well.
Love it. We use Privy today, but of course that might also change. And something that I don't know if this is like the right form for this, and I don't want to hog the mic here, so happy to go on mute and be done. But I have a question about Coinbase Pay as well and cross-chain payments, only if it's relevant to you guys.
It won't be as relevant to us, but can you drop it in the chat, and then we can get back to you async, and also drop your we'll just get back async on that. Want to make sure the Majestic Stan has time to ask the question.
They may have left. The Majestic may have left, but Sergeant Pepper, that was a great question. We appreciate that. And then also for the Coinbase on-ramp side of things, next Wednesday, we're going to have our product manager for on-ramp at an event. So another opportunity to ask questions, pick their brain, and go from there. But really love the concept you're building out. We'd love to even chat more. We do community spotlights for the people in our Discord. So any chance we can get to highlight, really innovative projects, we want to do just that. Nick, were you going to say something?
Well, that's great. Yeah. Coincidence that you're bringing on the on-ramp team next week. Yeah, Sergeant Pepper. I'm guessing, that like getting wallets funded is a big pain point and something you're thinking a lot about. So I'd be remiss if I didn't also mention the magic spend feature of Coinbase Wallet, and that allows a user of like the wallet, self-custodial wallet, to connect their Coinbase account, and they can then use their custodial Coinbase balances to pay for things on chain. So if they're buying a $50,000 digital Rolex NFT thing and they have 50 grand sitting in their Coinbase account, they can create a Coinbase smart wallet and then connect with Magic Spend, and they can then buy the tokenized asset using their Coinbase balances, but from their self-custodial wallet. And it happens just in time. So they never needed to bridge to Base. They never needed to fund their wallet. They never needed to pull out a credit card, and you'll hear more next week if you attend. But then we also have Coinbase OnRamp, which is the payment tool that allows you to buy crypto using bank accounts and other stuff like that, TradFi rails.
I like
Any other questions? Yeah.
Well, we're right at 5 o'clock. If there are any questions, now's the time. But if not, that's an hour of good amount of information, good amount of documentation, demos. I appreciate you guys as well, and this is the Paymaster team, coming in really seconding Sergeant Pepper NFT. The fact that you guys can come in and join and just share information, what's certain features, what's coming up next, kind of where we are in the process. Like I said, these are the builders that are actively using our products. So great, appreciate you guys jumping on, and thanks for joining, team.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys.
Pleasure.
See you around.
Absolutely.